What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be doing a gear oil change on my Bobcat here. You're supposed to change it at the first 50 hours of use and then every 1,000 hours thereafter. So this will be basically the break-in gear oil change on it, and I'm not really looking forward to doing it. It's kind of a pain reading it through the manual. So you got to disassemble the motors and take the stump jumper and all the blades off on the bottom, take the lines off. Kind of looks like a real pain, so good thing you only got to do it every 1,000 hours after this. So according to the book, this will be my first time doing it, so you just have to bear with me as we go through it. So we got to take these lines loose here, undo all these bolts. You pull the top of this motor off, and then underneath I'll raise it up, take the bolts from the stump jumper off, and then we'll undo these, and this bottom motor carrier comes off and you can get the oil out. So these are the fill plugs. It's on the back on this one, but the fill plugs right there on the front. On the front of that one. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. All right. Golly, tight. Top halves of both motors off and got those lines plugged. So now I got to lift this thing up and take it off from underneath so you can take the bottom half off. Alright, that's off. Now we gotta take these off. They're same size. Can you grab that so I don't fall out? Yeah. Pick it up, pull it out of there. Yeah. Just pick it up and pull it out. Well, got them out. So now we'll see what the next step is. Okay, well, we're on figure 121. We removed the carrier, now drain the oil. So how do you drain it? Just flip it over? Guess I forgot to tell you that part. I'm assuming you just flip it over. And then I don't know, just kind of crappy directions here. Well, I guess I'm just gonna set these and let them drain for a minute, even though I think most of it drained out when I raised this mower up. They only hold 0.6 quarts in each one. I really do not like this design. It's kind of a dumb design to have to do that to change the oil without having to take all that apart. But now that I got those stump jumpers off, will be a good time to sharpen those blades anyway. But yeah, I don't. Next time I may try that. But it'll probably be a long time before I hit 1,000 hours on this mower. I'll probably sell it before I even get close to that. So this will probably be the last time that we're even doing this, unless I have to make a repair on it for some reason. But I'm gonna let them drain a little bit and then I guess put them back in there and fill it up. Well, while I'm waiting for the motors to drain, I might as well do some touch-up paint here. I'm gonna repaint these little motor carriers too because they're pretty rusty. These weren't painted that good to begin with from the factory. Yeah, I'll let them dry a little bit. Good thing about this Bobcat paint is it dries pretty quick, so that I painted on those is already dry, so I'll let that dry for about 10-15 minutes and we'll start putting them back in. Got some super clean floor absorbent, put on this gear oil, soak it up. Gear oil stinks and that smell just doesn't ever go away for the longest time. Well, this super clean does pretty good at picking it up. Let that sit there and then I can sweep it up. Well, the paint's dry, so I'm going to put one of these motors in there. Alright, now I can put the bolts in on both of them and get them torqued down to what they're supposed to be. So there's an O-ring on this motor carrier on the top portion that you need to take off and clean, make sure it's good. So these are still good, so I re-oiled it, put it back on there. I had to put these bolts in here before I set it in because you can't get them in once it's down on here. Take these caps back off. So I just tried an old 7/16 wrench that I had, and it literally just spread when I had to put a backup wrench on this as a cheater. So I got the Milwaukee Max Bite, and it didn't spread a bit. So these are pretty good wrenches. I got them on sale at Atwood's for a set for like 80 bucks. Yeah, but you see that other wrench I put on there spread and stripped off when the Max Bite didn't. So, pretty good wrenches. I got this little foot extractor off Amazon here, and I'll leave a link in the description. You can pick one up, but it's got quarts on one side, so it's got 0.05, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 quart, so this works out perfect. So I can get the exact amount of this 80/90 oil in there. Right there, 0.6 quarts. So I got a problem here. I can't figure this out because this thing's already flowing oil out the plug hole, and the manual says 0.6 quarts. So that's a little over half a quart. And you can see the bearing right there, it's already full. So I don't know if it turning this and it's not running down, if there's another bearing below, which I'd think there'd be, and it's just not soaking down in there yet. So I'm just gonna put it back together, run it, and then you pull these plugs out. You're supposed to pull one out, and if it runs out, it's full, and it's already running out. So I'm just gonna put this on, bolt it together, run it for a minute, and then let it set, and then pull one of these plugs and see if it's running out. Maybe I just didn't get it all drained out, but I let them sit upside down for the longest time, so I don't know. I got this side on, put a little Loctite on these nuts because it looked like they had some Loctite on them to begin with. But these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, torque to 90 pounds. And it doesn't say to torque this one, but it was not even that tight. But I tightened it just as snug as I could get it with 2 3/4 wrenches. But we're gonna torque these to 90 pounds. These bigger ones are 15/16 and the smaller ones are 3/4. Alright, that's done. Now the other side. Well, it's getting dark on me now. Gotta love this daylight savings time, but I hooked this up and ran it, let those motors get warmed up, and then I shut it off and let it sit here for about an hour. Checked them again, and it's pretty well full right up to the bottom of this plug. I put just a tiny bit more in it. So I guess I'm gonna let it set overnight tonight and run it and keep an eye on it. So, well, I got these blade carriers back on. I think it's way easier to just take this off when you need to sharpen the blades than taking the blades individually, having to reach through that hole and get the nut on. It's just way easier to zip those off real quick. Much better. So when I had this hydraulic motor portion off this bearing carrier here, I studied it a little bit, and that's the only way you can get the oil out. There's just no way to get a siphon or that little fluid pump in there, because the way the bearing is, and then there's a collar on it, and you seen where I was putting in that gear oil down those little notches so you could put a wrench on there and undo that collar. There's just no way to get anything in there to suck it out, so that's literally the only way to do it, is pull that out, turn it upside down. So I guess if I have to do it again, that's what we got to do. Well, took it out and ran it for about 15 minutes. Everything seemed like it worked good, except for the giant mess of hydraulic oil I got everywhere because I forgot to tighten this case drain line down here all the way. So that's what I was doing, getting all that washed out. None of these motor carriers got hot or anything, so I'm going to let it set and pre-check the oil, which I'm sure it's going to be good because I checked it after letting it sit all night. So anyway, I guess that's it. So yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I think I ended up used not even half of this quart jug for both motors. So I don't know if I just didn't get it all drained out of there. I mean, I left them upside down for a while, and I looked at the schematics on the online, and there is two bearings. There's one up top and then one down below, so you'd think the oil would just run down in there, but I don't know. Either I didn't get it all drained out, or it's not going down into the bearings. So I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I'll see you guys on the next one.